Hello, kindergarten parents. My name is Amy Snell, and I have the pleasure of being your child's kindergarten teacher for the 2021 school year. This is my third year teaching at Logos. I taught 1 year in preschool. Last year I started preschool and moved to kindergarten in the middle of the school year, and I'm so excited because kindergarten is actually my jam. This is the thing that I love. I taught kindergarten in California many years ago before I had kids. I am in the place where I belong, I think. Also, a little bit about me, just so you know who's going to be working with your kid. I am originally from Arkansas, moved to California when I was in elementary school, and lived in California until 2 years ago. My husband and I moved here to Moscow to work at Logos School. He also teaches at Logos. He's the music director here at Logos. We have 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls, 4 are at Logos, and 1 is at Jubilee. Things that I like, well, since I'm from Arkansas, I love trees. I like the woods. My dad lives in a cabin, like an actual cabin. I love to cook and bake. I love to organize and plan. I'm a little bit left-brained. I like to make lists. It's my favorite thing. I love reading my Bible. I'm doing the Bible reading challenge. I spend time with my family and friends. I'm a thrifter. Love going thrift store shopping. We have 3 cats and a dog that's very, very old and can't hear. And I'm becoming a crazy bird lady as we have been teaching birds in kindergarten. Can't wait to teach your kids, and I'm going to give you a little overview of what we're going to be learning this year. Some major things is we're going to go through in Bible. We're going to go through the entire Bible in story form, and we're going to use a kind of a poetry book, and we're going to memorize a lot of the main points of scripture in poetry form so that they can chant it and use motions with their body. One of my favorite things is chant, call and response, singing. If you didn't already know that about me, I really, really enjoy singing. So we're going to do a whole lot of that in class. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer every single day, a lot of memory verses. And we'll get to a lot of that in the homework section. For phonics and English, of course, it's what you expect. We're going to learn how to read. They're going to learn how to write. We're going to spend a lot of time going over the alphabet, but very, very quickly we're going to move into, even by October, doing reading groups. So we'll be already reading short words and doing some sight words even by then. In math, we're going to be learning to count all the way up to 100, recognizing numbers, all the way up to 50, counting backwards from 50, and we're going to do some simple basic addition and subtraction. We're also going to spend a lot of time doing this up here, working on the calendar, which is another really fun thing that we get to do lots of chanting with in our class. In science, we're going to study trees, conifers, things like that. We're going to do some squirrels, pumpkins. A lot of the time, though, for the majority of the year, we're going to spend on birds. We're going to draw birds. Each kid will be assigned a bird that will be their bird for the year. When they're the special helper, they'll get to squeeze their own bird that makes the sound, and they'll get to learn a little bit about that kind of bird. In history, it's going to be mostly biblical history as we go through the scriptures. We're also going to spend some time around Thanksgiving, going through the actual history of Thanksgiving. For art, it's going to be a little bit different. We do bird drawings every single week, starting in a few weeks. And we're going to do, very similarly to what they did in preschool, where they did drawing through the alphabet, we're going to do bird drawings in that way, to where I stand in front of the classroom and do line by line, curve by curve, and they will have a bird that looks exactly like, or very similar to the bird that we are studying that week. We will also have specialty subjects. For PE, Shauna Wright will be the PE teacher once a week for 30 minutes, and Corinne Reagan will be our music teacher twice a week for 30 minutes. Okay, every single week for communication, I'm going to be sending home on Fridays a newsletter. This is similar to the HAS in preschool. It was the letter home. There's going to be a lot of really important information on your HAS. By the way, I'm just going through the back to school handout. So if you've got that, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, so it's really, really important that you read your newsletter every single week. At the very least, scan it. Kind of look over it and see, I'll do some bold print bullet points for you to look at to make sure you know what's the most important thing to pay attention to. It's also going to give you some information about what we're doing the following week, things to give you a heads up on for the future. There will be emails from Logos School. Please pay attention to those. Occasionally, I'll be sending out emails too, just to give out a little bit more information about something that we're doing. Also, Kelsey Smathers has graciously volunteered to be our room mom this year, and so she will be kind of a point person for us to email out about class parties, volunteers for reading groups. If we get to go on field trips, that's going to be something that she's going to help out with us as well too. If you need to get a hold of me, you can call me, you can email me. The fastest way to get a response from me is text. I don't always do it immediately, but I'll do the best that I can to get back to you as quickly as you can. Please feel free to do that. I'm also on Marco Polo, which is during Logos at Home. We started using that a lot with students too. So feel free to use that as well. I kind of dig it because I don't have to actually use my hands. Okay, for classroom management, we've got some new rules that we're going to be doing, and we're going to do it like a call and response kind of thing. Obey right away, all the way with a good attitude every day. That's going to be a big deal. We're going to practice hardcore on no blurting. We're going to hit it hard the first couple of weeks, so prepare yourselves for that. We're going to work really hard on paying attention, staying focused, being honest and telling the truth, and then doing their very best. So we're going to say, always do your very best, as to God, not to men. So they'll be hearing that pretty often. We'll chant it every day, actually. For discipline, it's the usual things that you've heard before. For one offense, it's kind of like a warning. That's the pink slip. After that, it's a check and then another check. And if there's 3 offenses there, which is name and 2 checks, then it's going to be an office visit to go see Mrs. Hoft. And then the parent will be called to come and do the discipline themselves. If your child gets a pink slip, please sign it and then return it the next day. And it is very, very important that we work to make it right. So if there is an offense and a child needs to ask for forgiveness, we would like your help in that. If you could kind of be the intermediary with the kids to kind of say, this is what we need to ask for forgiveness for. Let's practice doing that, and we're going to practice it with them too. There are a few cases that will be immediately an office visit, and that is blatant disobedience or disrespect, fighting, lying, and foul language. Also, for uniform violations, I would like you to read really carefully the uniform rules that are in the Logos Parent Handbook. I want you to especially please pay attention to the policies about wearing jackets and sweaters in class. We want to be really careful that those are actually in our uniform code, like a navy blue cardigan, something like that. Please no hot pink, sequined jackets or vest or denim, please. So those will be given a violation on RenWed or fax, and also a pink slip. Okay, some classroom systems that you need to know what we're doing. For homework, there's not going to be a whole lot. It's kindergarten, but spelling is going to be the main thing. And so with the homework, or with the newsletter on Friday, attached to the back of it is going to be 2 things. The memory verses that we're working on, which it will have the whole page of all, it will be like several weeks worth of memory verses, but bolded on the part that we're working on this week. And then the page behind that is going to be spelling. So we're going to give the same spelling list out 2 times, once on Friday and then another time on Monday. And if your child reads those words and practices writing those words, then they will come back and bring it to me. I'm going to give them a Snell cash, and then they also get the benefit of having practiced it. For Bible memorization, where we want them to have a whole section, like for the beginning of the year, we're doing Genesis 1 through 5. Once they get the entire thing memorized by quarter, hopefully, they will be able to go to the treasure box. And so we practice it a lot in class, but it would be wonderful if you would practice it at home with them as well. Also, there will be a little bit of reading homework sent home. We're going to have Ziploc bags. I call them books in a bag. And the kids will be working through some readers at their own pace. So there'll be more information about that to come. So stay tuned. So for Snell Cash, what it is Every time, there's a few instances in the ways that they can get their Snell cash. One is bringing back homework. Another one is if there are no pink slips in the whole class for an entire day, everybody gets a Snell cash. Also, you never know when Mrs. Snell is going to see somebody doing something really great, working really hard, paying attention, being right on it, being a good example to the other students, and that's going to suddenly out of nowhere be a Snell cash. And what happens then is once they get 5 Snell cash, they come up to me and exchange it. They have to count it out to me, 5 Snell cash, and then they will be able to get a Smartie or whatever I have in my jar at the time. Okay, let's see. Daily treat. I'll show you that real quick. This is my daily treat jar. At the end of the day, if your child does not have a pink slip, then he or she will get one. It's a little candy, so an M&M, a gummy bear, a jelly bean, something very small. We might switch to marshmallow pumpkins around the fall. So that's just a really fun thing for them to look forward to. Treasure box. There are 2 ways to get to go to the treasure box in my class. One is, like I said, having the entire section of Bible memory done, which we do every week, and so they get a star next to their name. So they don't necessarily need to say the entire thing to me all at one time, but once they get each piece memorized and have the star next to their name in their Wit and Wisdom book, which you will be seeing, then they'll get to go to the treasure box. The other way is pencil grip is a really big deal for us. And so we want to make sure that they're working on that tripod grip. I'll show you really quickly. What we're trying to avoid is the finger in front and especially the thumb on top. This is a really big deal. So what we want to see is the thumb on the side, pointer here, and then the middle finger on the kind of like supporting on the side. Once I see your child regularly doing this, and it becomes a habit and a practice, I will take note of it, usually at quarter time, and they will get to go to the treasure box as well. Okay, some things that you need to know for tips for a successful and smooth year. Please be on time. If your child gets here early, they can stay out in the office area. Our classroom doors open at 8:25 and we start promptly at 8:40. Please make sure that your child is here on time. And even during that 15 minutes beforehand, starting at 8:25, we do have work on their desks to be doing. So as early as they can get here, closer to the 8:25 mark, they'll be more certain not to miss anything important during that time. If you need to come during the school day and pick up your child, please call Sandy in the office. The phone number is right here on your back to school handout. It's important that you have your child use the bathroom as he arrives at school so that we don't have as many interruptions during the school day. Things that you need to have your child bring to school every day. The folder is a big, big deal. Please make sure that your child has the folder with their name on it. We're going to have them bring home all of their important papers, finished work. If things are finished, you can take it out. So please bring the folder, a water bottle, and a snack. So please make sure that the water bottle is something you can refill, and we would like them to take it home every single day. Due to COVID, things going on right now, we're not using the water fountain at all, and we're not allowing kids to go to the bathrooms to refill the water bottles during the school day. So you need to make sure and bring them back filled every single day. We'll eat our snack during the snack and reading time. I'm going to read a book out loud while they eat their snack right after recess. So it could be something very, very simple. Don't feel like you have to come up with anything elaborate for their snack. Anything will do. Let's see. Be sure to be involved in your child's education by looking in that folder, finding out what's going on in there, and seeing if there is any homework or information that you need to see. Birthday treats. If your child has a birthday, you are more than welcome to bring in a treat for the class. I have 19 students as of now. So you can bring in something that's self-contained. We have carpet in these rooms, and this is not our property, so we want to make sure that we're being very, very careful about the carpet and not bringing anything that's going to be messy that could possibly spill. Please avoid frosting. That's actually kind of a big deal to us. If your child has an allergy, please let me know. And you can also bring in, if your child is the one that has the allergy, bring something in that would be a treat for them, so that the other parents may not necessarily have to come up with something different for your child. Okay, and we would also like you please to pray regularly for all of your teachers. We're working hard trying to take care of your kids, and we love it, but we would sure appreciate your prayers on a regular basis. Things that we might have need of in the future. It's possible, we don't know yet, that we may have field trips. We don't have any scheduled anytime soon as per COVID protocol right now, but there may be times later on in the year that we will need some drivers and chaperones. So if you'd be willing to drive, we'd really appreciate your help. We're not taking buses generally on a field trip, so it's parent volunteer drivers. We do have to use car seats as per Idaho law. And our room mom will be coordinating this should we be allowed to go on a field trip this year. Also, reading groups. In the middle of October, we'll begin reading groups. I would love to have 3 to 4 volunteers to come in on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:50. You can bring your child to school, stay and hang out for 10 minutes in the office so that I can kind of get the class going, and then we'll break up into reading groups. All right, let's see. What is next? Class parties, special treats, fun art projects. We may need volunteers for these at various times, like a Thanksgiving party, a Christmas party, Valentine party, things like that, which generally will involve an art project, something like that. So I would need extra hands on deck to help to serve and to help with cutting and things like that, as we do kind of sometimes on those days. It's a little bit bigger. We'll ask Kelsey also to help us out to make a plan for that. We have something called Zero the Hero. And this is as we're learning to count to 100 and we're looking forward to the 100th school day. Every 10th day, when the number that our day is has a 0 at the end. So every 10. A secret man known as Zero the Hero, who is very mysterious, comes into our room and secretly leaves dum-dums somewhere in the kids' desks. They never know where they're going to find it. So I will probably be needing a regular replenishment of dum-dums. I have quite a few right now, but it won't be long before we will be deep into school and we'll need more. So I would love help with that. Also, the Snell cash treats that I just showed you that are in my jar, I would welcome any assistance with that, just from the bins at Winco. Starburst, I had Bit of Honey. I had the little, they're kind of like jelly candies that are covered in sugar. So just individually wrapped, something like that would be great. Also, I'm looking for a set of parents that would be willing to be a substitute teacher this year for me. Multiple substitute teachers in case people are not available. In case I get sick, I do have 5 kids, and so I occasionally do need to stay home with them. So if you'd be willing to do that, I would be more than happy, even early before we have a sudden emergency and I need to have somebody and it's late notice. I'd be happy to show you around, kind of give you a feel of the room, show you what my lesson plans look like so that you could be able to more easily and more confidently fill in for me. That would be a huge blessing. It's always a little bit stressful trying to find somebody when your kid is sick at 10 o'clock at night. Anyways, that is going to be all for right now. I cannot wait to serve you and to serve your students. I want you to look at it that way, that we are your servants and we are here to honor you as parents. You are the primary educators of your kids, and we are here to support you. So if there is anything that I can do to aid you in that, if you have questions, concerns, additions you want to make, please let me know. And I'd be more than willing to chat. You can talk before school, after school, email, text, phone call. It doesn't matter. But I'd love to stay in touch. And I can't wait to meet all of you. And I hope and I'm praying for all of you as you prepare for this new school year. God bless you. See you soon.